Wilson's disease update, week something or other. Oh, okay. I had a phone call just now with Ashley from the U of M. 4 people total, 4 human totals, not in this phase of the study, have undergone this therapy. So that, again, is making me think about it all differently. I've misunderstood a lot. Or not misunderstood a lot, but I remember telling her that when I heard that the first time, that I would be one of the first humans doing this, as in count on one hand humans. They've done 4, and if I'm going over there, that means, well, no, I don't know if there's any people in line ahead of me. I don't know. But they have dosed 1 person a month ago, and they just dosed a few more, I think. But going into too much detail here. I would, now the kind of questions I want to ask is, okay, this technique that you're going to use, how many people have had that? Because I believe that it's an mRNA thing, much like the COVID vaccine. They're doing a different thing with teaching your genes a different kind of thing. In this case, okay, here. Oh wait. So I am going to. I don't have anywhere to pour off my tea rinse. It's my tea rinse. So I am going to. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna put those in here. I have been uncomfortable enough to be averaging perhaps a Tylenol a day. I had a hospital stay, a serious one, and it involved not being able to give me even a lot of these. And they gave me 1 regular strength Tylenol, and I found that it takes longer to kick in, and no, it just takes longer to kick in, and maybe it wears off less. But now on my own, when I'm at home, I only take 1, and it gets rid of my headache, which is usually the thing I am getting rid of. Now it is shoulder pain, which I think is in part a release, which is like a psychological release, which is in part is this big deal about getting my genes changed. Okay, that's a big deal. I asked her, Ashley, I'll tell you the question I asked her. I said, so people can experience personality changes with the onset of Wilson's disease symptoms, and I assume they can also experience personality changes with the cure. And what have people's experiences been like this? And I thought that we were in phase 3 of this trial. This is phase 1 of the trial. First human beings, Okay, I'm soaking it too long here. Not soaking it. Wait and see. Okay, that's really nice. This is one of the, has a little bit of pink hue. This is totally non-standard. Usually I just pour it off in something. I am taking my keyboard here and putting it somewhere where it has no chance of getting wet. Well, it has a chance of getting wet because it's close to me. But, so I think for one thing, she told me also, I think I have another video up here about this, about how I likely won't qualify for this first phase because of my esophageal varices, which for them are an indicator of advanced liver disease, which is a disqualifier. Nobody's ever told me I have advanced liver disease. That must be for the purposes of this study. I have, there's the liver transplant scale. I don't even rate it's one of those weird scales that I think the lowest number you can get is a 3 or something like that. But I think I don't even register on that. But I was okay with it initially. Well, no, nothing. I was okay with it. I'm talking like I have a choice about things here. I'm just like trying to weed through my feelings and find out the information. While the water was heating, I had some pretty poignant thoughts. Okay, that's too long to steep there. You know, and right now they're mixed up with, okay, logistics, traveling there, art show in Chicago on the way back. Yeah. Okay. So, and that, okay, here's a good example of a dramatic thing. I halfway consciously did that because I knew it would be on camera. I don't know if I would have done it otherwise. I don't know. But 195. Got to go back up. I am heating back up my water there. You hear down there. Yeah. I thought I'd go get a lamp to work this thing out. So, and a cat. A lamp and a cat. Are you gonna help me work this thing out, Leland? Yeah. So I guess I'm back to, boy, this is exciting to be one of the first humans. But then I think, like, okay, they told me this person that certainly qualified it up and down, telling me, but it came from the doctor about the esophageal varices. This trial is unusual in that they're breaking it into 3 phases, perhaps because there's so few patients. I maybe have convinced myself Wilson's disease is. There are more Wilson's disease patients being treated than there actually are. The thing that I've always said is that Lou Gehrig's disease is 1 out of every 45,000 people. Everybody knows that. Everybody also knows that Lou Gehrig's disease is ALS. Wilson's disease is, okay, in ALS, how I said that, I believe that is the Wilson's disease distinctive dysarthria, not positive. This is the Wilson's disease losing track of things, which is made worse by the fact I have a little bit of cannabis every now and then. So phase 2 is the one where there's the placebo with this trial. Phase 1 is just safety and efficacy. So many questions. But phase 2, I might give the placebo. When I first found out I might not qualify for this phase, which I thought was phase 3, believing I was going into phase 4, that I would certainly be accepted into phase 4, that started next year, and I would be dosed as early as a year and a couple months. That didn't seem all that different than being dosed in a couple months. So, but this new information just made everything seem like it needs to be reconsidered another time again, for the first time. Or considered for the first time again. Considered for the first time again. Second reconsideration. No, that can be happened. It looks like, if you can see this, you can tell there's something other than water. Oh, this is kind of gross. How did that get there? Is that on the inside? If you were my guest, I wouldn't be putting my finger in here. Oh, what is that? Huh, maybe it's just discoloration on the glass itself. No, it's not. Anyway. So if I get in this phase two, I might get the placebo, which would follow me through phase 3. After phase 3 is done, then if I was in phase 2 and got the placebo, then I would get the real thing. I just want to get it as soon as possible now, and I thought that because phase 3, I thought that because we were in phase 3 and 4, all of the patients got it. I was going to certainly get it within a couple months or a year and a couple months. Now, I'm probably not going to get it now, and in a year, in a couple months, I'm probably going to get it, but I might get the placebo. They're looking for 15 patients for the first part of the trial. Wow. That gives me, okay, that puts it in perspective. They're looking for 15 patients before they start this phase 2 of the trial. And I guess there's ramp up. No. Oh, okay, wait. That's not true at all. There'll also be ramp up for phase 2 before they actually... I don't know, actually, though. But the thought there was, wow, if they're planning on only finding 15 patients in a whole year... But yeah, so Wilson's disease is 1 out of 30,000, Lou Gehrig's 1 out of 45,000. Why is... Lou Gehrig's is a rare disease. Relative to Lou Gehrig's disease, Wilson's disease is a lot more common. Okay, I can say that, but I've just kind of also... I've underplayed it. Also, I've thought about it as 1 out of 25,000 people about. And that's because I lived in a town that was 25,000 people. So I'm thinking, okay, like every town would have somebody like me in it. That's not super rare if you can find me in every 25,000 population town. I also wanted to talk about my girlfriend, Heather, who's awesome. It's really new. I wouldn't be able to be doing this. No, I would be able to do it, but I chose... No, here's the way of putting it. As soon as I realized, okay, Heather and I are in a relationship, she's awesome and supportive, one of the first things I did was call the U of M, so thanks, Heather. So... Yeah, so I've got that going on too. I and I can maybe say this on this channel too. I've been a heavy drinker my whole life. I don't drink at all now, and I've found that that's been about a year and a half, and I was drinking every day during the pandemic, so it was quite an abrupt change. But I found that even, in my earlier life when I was, a heavy drinker, which meant drinking, probably... most all days, at least a beer or two, two, and some days getting drunk, at least once a week. That was generally the pattern. Sometimes I was a more moderate drinker, but anyway. But just even drinking moderately, for me, that had an effect on every single day. By the time I drank the next time, the effects of the last time, the negative effects of the last time, weren't worn off. Those were anxiety, mostly anxiety. I would be anxious. I would have an anxious hangover for a couple days. And so that is, I think, allowing me to make more mature decisions, experience more mature thoughts. Or not mature. I'm 89 years old, so I'm not going to get more mature, but I can get more less. I don't know. I like myself better without alcohol, and that allowed me to find a wonderful person to share my life with, and it's incredible that it's been going on a month, but we've been neighbors for 4 years, and I think we were a little bit closer before this all happened than she does. But maybe because I knew that I would be totally into her if I let myself. So yeah, we're gonna drive 2 days out there. And I didn't think about this, but it is kind of the fair thing. I think Heather has an art show she has just a couple pieces in it, but I want to stop by. I think she should want to stop by too. But it's at a gallery she just found out about online. But anyway. So I think the fair thing to do is tell the drug company, okay, like you only need to get us back to Chicago the next night, and we'll take the trip from there. Because they pay for everything, all the travel, all such things. Usually in advance. The word credit card wasn't mentioned, but the way that it was talked about before would be that they would just give me a credit card. But now they're asking me to save receipts. This is all detail. Maybe the way I'm talking about the detail and interjecting these little things is I might as well. The question I asked Ashley was because there can be a personality change, sometimes a pretty profound one, at onset of symptoms, which for me was 26, neurological symptoms, which not all Wilson's patients have. I did. Wilson's either presents as liver problems earlier in life, or if the problems don't arise until the early 20s, it's usually the first symptoms are neurological. That's the case with me. Well, actually, fatigue and shaky hands, neurological was a sign since like 13 or 14. But this is so scattershot. Am I talking about things I don't think of myself as somebody who would wish to avoid anything because he's uptight. But I think I am. I don't know what I mean by uptight yet. This is a fruity. This is I just have it in a box at this point. But this is. It's either Sunny Side Up or Drink Me. I think it's Sunny Side Up. I have Drink Me downstairs. It's cool. We live in the same building, Heather and I. And so she started referring to my place as upstairs and her place is downstairs. It's on the other side of the building. Our building's huge. So it's an old shoe factory. I've talked about this on the other videos. I love it. But it's like one of these. Here's my kitty in there. I've got a loft, I refer to it as, and here I've got a nice view of where is it? It'll be that way. The Capitol. It would be smaller on your screen than in real life, of course. The capital of Minnesota, the Capitol building. Oh,